Hello and welcome to the Overwatch League of Champions very own podcast. I'm Gatron. Today I am joined with Cutup and Pog, and we are going AFK.
Oh.
There you go, guys. There's your intro.
10 out of 10.
Boo, get off the stage.
I hate you so much.
I hate me too.
And now I go into my little notebook of intro. Alright, so, real quick, we had a game yesterday. It was Voltage versus the Horsemen.
Hype.
That was a pretty tough game, I gotta say, for Voltage.
It was. It really was. It's really interesting to see a new team like that just come out of nowhere and just do that to the third place team from last season.
I know.
I'd just like to say, not bragging or anything like that, but I was on that roster.
Like, who are you on your Horseman, right?
Yeah, I'm Horseman, yeah.
Yeah, what was it?
I was playing Sigma yesterday.
Oh, you're doing really good. Like, what were like the shot calls? What was going on in there? What were you all saying to each other?
So, in a sense, how we kind of all break down is where, when it comes to us, it's very much, I'm like the sort of like lead shot caller. What I say usually goes. I'm more of like the motivator of the team, really. That's kind of like what my job is, because when everyone's feeling down, I'm the one that goes, okay, guys, come on. This may be tough, but let's push through it. And as you saw from that first game on Busan, even though we didn't get absolutely slammed, we won that first point. We seemed very confident. We were looking pretty good, and then all of a sudden it just collapsed. And my sort of job was to pick up the pieces and say, listen, guys, this is what we need to stop doing. Our biggest concern was mainly was Elo Earth. He was getting a lot of the times our picks, and
yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, because of that, we were putting a lot of attention into him and not really focusing on the main game. So because he was our constant fear and we kept putting so much into him, that ultimately made us lose because we kept fearing him. But then after that, then when they switched him out and all that sort of stuff, that fear kind of died down. And instead of being on edge all the time, we kind of just were a team. We were playing together rather than being on edge. And we just played extremely well due to that pure reason of not having that fear instilled into us.
Yeah, that's very good. It's also good that your team that you're able to motivate the team, because I've seen so many teams fall apart because of how demoralized they are. So yeah, it's really good.
No, it's happened way too often.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times when it comes to really hard games, a lot of people will just, I don't know, they won't give up, but you can tell that it's gone. They don't have that fire, which means that they start playing worse. So we as a team, we strive off knowing that we're going to win. We don't expect a loss because we expect to play the best we possibly can. And if we're playing the best we possibly can, we're going to win. That's how we see it. So at the end of the day, unless we're playing good, we know we won't win. And that's kind of our motivation behind everything is that we know what we can do. We know what we're capable of. It's just about pushing it and actually getting out there and doing it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And, actually, Cutup will be commentating in tonight's game, which is at 7. It'll be the Seattle Senpais versus Neptune. So, and I know last week Yiggs was saying that she's really hoping that this becomes the big rivalry of the league. And you're on Seattle, aren't you, Pog? Or not Seattle, you're on Neptune.
Neptune. Yeah,
That's
Neptune.
right.
I don't actually know these teams very well, but I know a few of the players on and off, so it's actually quite interesting to see how it's going to go. I'm actually quite hyped for it.
Well, nobody's actually seen either of these teams play. This is the first season that they're in this league, so 2 brand new teams should be interesting to watch.
I mean, what are we expecting? We're expecting the typical comps to come out, most likely, I'm guessing. Arisa, Sigma.
I'm betting Arisa's going to be seen.
That woman, that horsewoman, she really has a tendency for showing up at the wrong times.
Listen, it's not horsewoman, it is centaur. Politically correct, come on.
I did not mean to assume species. I apologize.
That's specious.
Speciesist. Yes, that's the word.
Oh man. But actually, I do want to talk about something. It was so I was literally playing comp just like an hour ago, and I was playing with a buddy of mine, and we started talking about, because I was saying it feels like whenever I play comp and I lose more than I gain.
Yeah.
So I was like, we were talking. I was like, if hopefully, like, it would be awesome if Blizzard changed the SR system to make losing the SR loss is just a set amount, whereas when you win, the SR you gain is based around how well you're performing.
Yeah. Now, see,
I
I have
agree
heard
with
a
that.
lot of people say that. Now, what I have seen from other games, this is what quite a lot of people said early back in Overwatch Lifespan, is instead of essentially removing so much, some games quite literally will reward you with like 30 points, but they'll only take one off for a loss. I know that sounds crazy, but if you really think about it, if you are bad, you're going to lose those 30 games to lose all that SR back. You know what I mean? If you're not playing at that level. So that's how some people look at it. I think what personally should happen is there should be a set amount that you lose for each rank. So, like, if you're in GM, you lose, like, more of a sense, you gamble your SR. So when you enter into the game, let's just say now you put 30 SR in, and then if you win that game, I don't know, you get like a 1.5 multiplier of that SR that you put in, if you get what I mean, for every single rank. It's like Diamond, you put 20 of your SR in for a chance of winning 1.5 back.
So for a chance of winning like 30.
Yeah, exactly. So you put 20 in, and then you'd win 30 back, and then it'd be so on and so forth up the ranks, that sort of thing. So instead of sort of using rank as like just like a depicted number that's on your profile, you could almost see it as being used as a currency in a sort of sense. But it's not as necessary that it's a little bit what and I know everyone's gonna hate me for this, but it's a little bit what Fortnite do. Where they quote unquote when you go into the ranks you have to pay for the bus fare, quote unquote. So essentially you put a couple of points in, and then hopefully you get your points back, and then hopefully more points.
You had to bring up Fortnite. This is an Overwatch podcast, and you bring up Fortnite.
Listen,
How could
I
you?
know I'm gonna get some hate, dude, but that's at the end of the day.
Listen,
I mean, you can't say much though. Gaming has changed because of Fortnite, and no one can disagree with that.
Yeah, but I will go to the grave saying that the best battle royale is Minecraft Hunger Games.
Oh god. Oh god.
It was the original,
Overwatch 2?
and it will be the best. Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is a battle royale.
No.
It wasn't the original, but okay.
Overwatch 2, the newest battle royale.
Oh god.
Imagine an Overwatch Battle Royale map with all just the maps in one big mess.
No, please.
Like you go from Horizon to Paris to Route 66.
The reason why that would never work is because, well, someone like Roadhog will be broken.
Yeah.
The fact he would just go around healing, hooking people, shotgun, like, I'm sorry, but that man would decimate.
I'm pretty sure he's pretty big in competitive deathmatch.
Yeah.
It's just that HP, that hook one-shot combo, the healing. He's got a nice ult as well, so if he needs to get you away, or if he wants to trap you in a corner, get a guaranteed kill, it's just easy kills. If someone wants to play a Risa or Reinhardt against him, that's also going to go bye-bye. So he is very diverse in that sort of aspect with the HP he has.
I feel like the other character that's pretty big is Sombra. Just because of her ability to hack people out. Like, she literally counters Roadhog because of that.
Yeah. Now, Sombra's an interesting character, because what you gotta remember what Sombra is essentially, and I'm sure everyone knows this, if you play Sombra incredibly safe, you cannot lose a game with Sombra. If Sombra is good at hacking key targets and is good at keeping herself safe at all times, there is no way you're going to lose, right? Because at the end of the day, if Sombra keeps her translocator up and she comes into your backline, she starts shooting you up, bang, she's out. She's gonna keep waiting, going back in, shooting you in the back, teleport out. Hack your Reinhardt, shoot you in the back, teleport out. And then, next fight, EMP with another ult. Bang, that's a wipe. Sombra...
Yeah, she's such a pain to deal with. Yeah.
She's so strong, unless you can hunt down that translocator, which most Sombra players play it safe anyway. So Sombra is incredibly strong, but I don't think teams actually utilize her that much. And I think if Dive was necessary to come back, which I know everyone does want it to come back, but I don't see it coming back, but still.
I love Dive.
No, nobody likes Dive, let's be real.
Are you sure about that?
I love Dive! It gives me a reason to play Winston!
I hate, no offense, but I hate people who say they love Dive, because I'm going to tell you why. The downfall of Overwatch was actually in Dive. If you look at any streamers, anything like that, they all drop shit because of Dive, because Dive was so boring. So, it was, the prime of Overwatch. It wasn't. That's why Overwatch started dying. But if Dive does make a return, I can 100 bet it would be Sombra in there. It's somewhere. It would be Sombra Genji I can see, because I can imagine fights coming in. One fight, then you'd Nano Blade, and then another fight, then you would Sombra EMP with a Diva Bomb. I can just see that just repeating, and I feel like that would be incredibly strong.
Honestly, if Dive were to come back, we know Winston would be in Dive. That's kind of a given. But with the changes to Diva, I mean, definitely with her boosters, she would once again be viable in Dive, but I could see Hammond also being utilized in place of her.
Hammond's utilized right now whenever you want to run a Dive comp. The problem about Diva isn't, no matter what happens with Diva, the reason why she was strong isn't because of anything but her defense matrix, right?
Yeah.
So they nerfed that, and now she's useless. And that's the only reason why she's useless, because you didn't use Diva for anything else except for peeling the backline. Now, you have to play Diva more in the front line with your main tank, right? Which you can't do, because if you're in the front line, you're taking Reaper, you're taking sometimes Symmetra, you're taking Mei. It's just no good fun for Diva. She can't sit back and peel her backline like she used to.
Well, her headshot hitbox is
the
half the
booster
size.
buff might give her the ability to peel back, but it's an uphill battle for Diva right now.
Yeah, you can get DMX so quickly. Still, even with it.
You can play Diva, but you have to play incredibly safe.
Yeah.
And then, also, if Dive comes back, I kind of see it being on a BAP. Because that Immortality Field, if he plays that right, he can launch that right where the Winston is, and that Winston ain't dying.
That idea. I do like that idea, but with a lot of the new changes coming to Baptiste, I don't feel like Baptiste is going to survive very long. Plus, having two characters that can be dove in your backline, because if you think about it, right, if it's Dive versus Dive, and your tanks jump in onto the enemy's backline, then their tanks are just going to dive your backline.
But then if you have the BAP, you still have that Immortality Field, so you use that as the defensive ability rather than the offensive.
Yeah, but you've just said you're going to throw it to help the Winston.
Okay, let's look at the situation. Dive v Dive. You are fully aware that your enemy team is running Dive. So, you see the Immortality Field as a defensive ability rather than the offensive. If it's Dive v Brawl, use it offensively.
Yeah, but what if this happens, right? What happens? So you dive their backline, then their tanks turn and start fighting you. Your instinct's gonna be immortality, right? Because you're like, keep your tanks up, Immor. And then the tanks turn and dive you!
Okay, yes. I mean, that is the risk you run. So wait. So would it be like I mean, in place of the BAP, you could possibly run a Mercy, you could possibly run the... I mean, it's most likely going to be Moira, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Moira's not very good. I would consider Mercy actually slightly better than Moira in most instances.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it because of that res. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, the
res,
res.
it's
She also
damage
has
boost
much
on
more
certain
consistent
components.
mobility.
Valkyrie,
Yeah.
I would argue, is a better ultimate than
Coalescence.
There's just so much that like obscures Coalescence. With Orisa being in meta, Orisa plays Sir Bongos, Mercy, Valks, and heals. Your team pushes in so freely, and there's nothing for them to worry about because they got double damage. They've got healing. What is it to worry about? It's just a cluster, just an absolute cluster of just damage coming into the enemy team. They just drop and fall. And then if you want to add then Baptiste's Amp Matrix, it's just not a nice stay for them.
Although, if Dive does come back, it'll break my heart a little bit because I love playing Zen. And
Zen so much. The killer monk.
Like, if Dive comes back, Zenyatta is gonna leave meta once again because he's just gonna be too easy to kill.
It's because of Doomfist. Doomfist destroys him. And that's the only issue. This is the reason why Zen can't be played right now is, in the higher-ups he does get played, and I know that, but he's often switched off very, very quickly because of one reason, and that's Doomfist, right? And what Doomfist can do is destroy Zen in a click. Just one uppercut and a couple of shots and he's dead. And the bad thing is for Zen is that Doomfist works well with double shield, which right now is meta. So Orisa pulls, Doomfist punches, bang. That's Zen gone. Zen is a buy. It's a good buy. And then there's the halt, and then the Doomfist halt. There are so many ways for Doomfist to get value with double shield that no matter what, Zen just gets absolutely bullied, especially on console. I mean, it's easy to play Doomfist console compared to Zen console. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zen just might as well wear like a poster on him saying, "Kill me, please."
Free ult charge.
It's so easy to kill Zen.
I mean, Zen, all he is an artillery cannon, right? He discords and he just doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
The whole point in Zen is to sit in an area and just fire. He's an artillery cannon. That's all he was designed for. He was just to sit there and just shoot, shoot, shoot.
Okay, I don't know why, but you say that, and now I picture the freaking the U.S. military, like, bring out the artillery, and it's just an army of Omnic monks.
You were saying like do. I was just thinking of that one SpongeBob clip of Patrick just saying do.
Okay, so I believe, I'm not gonna say his name, but one of my friends made a weird game mode in the workshop and upped the firing rate of Zenyatta's ult fire. He literally became a fucking machine gun. It was just.
There was this glitch I had found. I can't remember in what game mode it was, but essentially, when you have, I think it was like infinite ammo, but for some reason, whenever you infinite ammo with Zen, right, when you do like his charge ability.
Yeah.
After he's done the animation of the volley, he carries on firing.
Yes! Yes, that's it!
And literally, I mean this now, he doesn't even throw his hands, so you can emote and just keep infinitely firing.
Yes! That's exactly what it was! It was the best thing ever! You don't even see the orbs firing! You just put your crosshair over at somebody, and suddenly you're hearing ticks!
It's just like whoever stands in you just dies. Like, just go.
Like, can we please? If that were to be like an actual feature, Zen would be meta so quickly.
Oh, definitely. Let's just laser the entire enemy team.
He would have been deleted by now.
It would end up becoming like Zen 1v1s, and it would be the most like high stakes game ever.
Oh no.
Oh my god. I mean, I'm pretty sure if that was a thing, then goodbye Zenyatta from the game. I don't see that being stated.
Listen, it would be the fastest nerf. It would be the fastest nerf that ever comes out. Mate,
it wouldn't even make it to the live service.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even come out beta testing. It'd be that bad.
Well, I remember what happened with Omnic Crisis Bastion a while back. They somehow let that pass alive.
Oh man.
Bad times. That was so long ago as well.
Oh, but speaking of 1v1s though, can we
Yes.
please bring back the game-deciding Torbjorn Hammer 1v1s? Just like, you guys remember those, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, how intense it was to watch your Torb and the enemy Torb duke it out in a Hammer 1v1, and whoever wins is the one that wins the map.
I love those. Much better than whatever coin flip was way back then.
Oh man. I
We
also
should do
kind of
that,
like.
a Torbjorn Hammer 1v1 tournament.
Yes. I was just about to say that.
Oh, and you want to know? Okay, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but Dorado as the FFA map is great for 1v1s and for like tournament play. It's literally an arena.
I just want to be sure. Farrell, did you post the going AFK link into the
Yeah,
self-promotion?
it's auto posted because it's on the OLOC YouTube. Self
Oh, okay.
promotion.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
Yo, too many people joining, dude. Slow down.
Those two people leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. I mean, there were some good things about old Overwatch though.
Yeah, we
Some.
won in Mayblade Meta.
Oh come on. You
I'm actually
knew.
surprised about that. I'm actually really surprised that no one actually uses meta. Like, we're in a meta. Well, they do use meta. Don't get me wrong. They use double shield, right? Which a lot of people consider that the meta. But
Yeah.
the thing I don't see is the Mayblade meta, which we're in. I don't understand. And if anyone doesn't know the Mayblade meta, right? Because a lot of people don't, because they don't refer to it as Mayblade meta. They refer to this as double barrier meta. But essentially, it's May and Reaper, right? The reason why it's called Mayblade is you probably think it'd be Genji Blade and May ult, but it's basically Beyblades and May's ult, right? So that's why it's called Mayblade. Essentially, what you do is you just build for May ult and Reaper ult, and then you just freeze, like you put your ult on the pointless May, and then Death Blossom, and everyone just dies. I just never see that happen.
Yeah, like I've seen like Sigma ult and Reaper ult a few times, but I haven't seen May ult and
I'd
Reaper
say
ult
Sigma
before.
ult and Reaper ult would be zero gravity Beyblade.
Zero Blade.
Zero blade.
I mean, another strong ult combo is like Sigma's ult and then McCree's. I love it when like,
Well-
like you lift their backline and then they just pop
Yeah.
them all.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that, and it's always so infuriating when it happens to you.
Yeah.
Oh, it always
Because
is.
you can't do anything. You just feel uncontrolled.
That's why it's so infuriating, because you're so out of control of what's going on there.
The
As a
worst
Sigma
is
player, I've learnt my lesson that every time I get lifted, I just L1. I just know.
like the worst is when you get like lifted off a point and just lose because of it.
Oh my
I hate
god.
that.
The Sig 9.
Sigma.
Big 9.
That's why my name's Sig 9 on Discord.
Yeah.
It's just the perfect, like, whenever that happens, you just know it's great. I did that actually, if anyone's watching, the Voltage match yesterday. When they all went behind us on Blizzard World, I ulted and I lifted half their team, and then we just pushed
Yeah.
it out right the way through.
That was nice.
Please.
It's moments like that is why I love playing Sigma, because they're so rare, but when they happen, they feel so great.
I'd
Please
imagine.
tell me when you like plan to do that, you scream at your team, "Alright guys, I'm about to make them Sig 9."
No, usually I go very quiet, and then when we cut the point, we all just scream, Sigma!
Love it.
Oh man. You see, whenever that happens to me though, I'm an Arisa player. So
Oh,
I get popped up into the air, and I'm like, no.
I always see options like it's overtime. You see the whole time, like, yes, it's my Signai moment. Lift. All you hear is just a Risa gold clunk. Just no.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you hear no resistance.
Actually, speaking about Orisa, I don't know why Blizzard actually haven't banned this skin from like something like Owl or anything like that, or why like leagues haven't really looked into it. But you know
What
the
skin?
Immortal skin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's already gold. In the middle of a fight, it's so hard to tell when Orisa goes gold because of that skin.
Yeah.
Paid win.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's already gold. So you like you're like, oh god, is she gold now or what? It's so hard to see. It's ridiculous. And then you have like you have Reinhardt's his I can't remember what it's called. It's the one they got for Summer Games. Gridiron Heart. His ultimate's quieter. The shout.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Hanzo's Okami and his other one
Oh,
the
yeah,
wolf.
kinda like-
Oh yeah, Lone
Sounds
Wolf
good.
and Okami.
Yeah.
The last like the ending of it is a lot more quieter. Like I don't understand why there hasn't been anything like that. That's like like anyone's come in and sort of gone, okay, these skins are banned in like Owl. I'm guessing it's because in Owl, I think they use their team skins, don't they?
No. So
Yeah.
in Owl, if you actually look at their PCs, what they're using is the classic skin. The team skins are only applied to the stream.
That's weird.
I'm guessing it's because there's no unfair advantage. That's probably what it is.
So yeah, the way
Yeah.
Owl works is everybody must use the classic skin.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah,
so it's not unfair advantage because everyone's at the same playing field then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you were to hide somewhere as Reinhardt, the other team could do that rather than if you had a darker skin, you could hide in a corner. But if you're wearing like I don't know if you're Shock or something and you just got a pink skin hiding in the corner.
just a bright pink skin, like I wonder where the tracer is.
I mean, if you're going against colorblind, it'd probably work, to be honest.
Just, I would love to see like Shock. Everybody on Shock during the Overwatch League, like actually on their PCs running their skins on freaking Nepal.
Oh god.
I wonder where they're pushing from. Just look for the plate.
Good choice of colors.
Freaking Shock or not Shock? Spark versus the old Mayhem skins.
Team McDonald's,
Just
nice.
the bright yellow.
Just the Macca's showdown.
What?
What are
It's
you guys-
cotton candy versus McDonald's.
Yes. Diabetes team.
It's the battle of diabetes.
Yes.
Oh my
And together
God.
they can form Type 2.
Type 2. Oh, God. Yeah, we're about to get cancelled.
We're not monetized. It's okay.
Oh,
Fun.
good. YouTube's like, wait a minute.
What's going on over here?
It's alright. We've already been going for like a half an hour. We're past that the YouTube algorithm threshold.
That's why there's no one watching. YouTube's like, don't recommend this.
They're not demonetized. We don't have to recommend it. Oh, freak. Actually, YouTube demonetization. I don't even want to go out in that freaking rabbit hole.
Yeah.
What does
Let's
everyone
go
think then? Who do you reckon is going to be in the top 3 teams then of this season?
Ooh.
If I watched more Owl, I would give an answer, but I don't.
I mean, if we're regarding Overwatch League, I'm going with my team, the NYXL.
I was actually on about Owl, but we can talk about Owl if you really want to. But but I think I don't know if you guys noticed who actually recently got signed on to this team. I'm actually so happy. My favorite team is Soul Dynasty, and they picked up two nice people the other day, Prophet and Gesture.
Oh, very
Oh
nice.
crap.
So I'm rooting for my boys.
I like it.
It's alright, NYX also has Jonak, my absolute favorite player,
He's
and...
nothing without Zen. He's nothing without Zen. And unfortunately, Zen listen. What's his name? Chipsa could just destroy him.
And I said it earlier, I love
know,
playing Zen, and he is great at Zen, and I love him.
I don't know, just give Jake Drumka machine guns then. What chips are gonna do about that?
Please, Blizzard,
Let's give Zen the buff we just infinitely fire.
Yeah, make Jonak the best player in the world.
Let's
buff only
make
to
Zen
Drumka.
and even more of an artillery cannon than he already is.
It would...
The US
Literally.
Navy... US Navy versus Russia. US Navy shows up with just normals and Russia is a line of Zeds infinitely firing.
Literally, if they did that, which we know they won't, but if they did, it would be a goodbye shield meta. It's the Zen meta.
Shields wouldn't exist. There would be no
What even
shield.
is a shield?
It'd be welcome to the Zen meta.
No shield meta in Zen.
Zen's no longer healer, he is the DPS.
They literally just changed the game back to no limits, and it's just Zen 6v6.
Oh no.
Just infinitely firing Zen 6v6.
And then every like 5 seconds you hear experience tranquility.
I don't even think Tranquility could save one of your teammates on the fire like one of the Zens.
No, if you've got 5 Zens popping that alt fire at that speed, yeah, no, a trans is not going to heal through that. It may have the highest healing output in the game, but it ain't healing through that.
Well, there's healing, and then there's Zen, so...
But you're saying Jonak is nothing without Zen, but he has proven he can play other characters.
Well, like Baptiste. He's like a Frankus Baptiste, unless you get like 5Ks.
And I'm sure he's been practicing other characters other than Zen, considering he's becoming known for his Zen.
Man switches to Brigitte.
Becomes a break main.
Disgusting.
What have we done?
Why are we still here just to suffer?
Like in New York is like, alright, because of this meta, Jonak, you're Baptiste.
Jonak when he does the whole of NYXL when Jonak doesn't play Zen. Alright, I'm a head out.
I'm a head out. Oh no.
What?
I'm just thinking, so Shanghai actually started doing better this past season.
Yeah.
If they win, I will donate 1.5k to this league. That's a post. That's a statement. That's a statement you can record right now.
It is streamed, boy.
There we go.
What are we using this
video
money for?
evidence. Well, you can use it any way the league decides, but I will donate 1.5k if Shanghai Dragons wins this season.
Wait. We need to clarify. What currency is this?
Dollars.
Good point.
Okay.
1.5k in every currency. Euros, pounds.
1.5k euros. Spanish euros. And that's not a rip on Hispanic heritage, guys. That is the Spanish euro is literally worth less than an American dollar. This is facts.
Okay. I don't know if it's gonna go down this rabbit hole. I'm really not sure.
Actually, no. I'll donate 1.5 5k yen, okay?
Yeah.
Oh
even
God.
That's like $13. So there we go.
16,000 yen. I donated $20.
Yes.
Oh no. Actually,
Perfect
it was
economy.
something that I was starting to think of that Pod, you and me and the rest of the board might have to talk about and see if the
But,
community wants to do it. Is I was thinking, do we
yeah.
want to consider maybe doing merch?
I
It.
talking about that.
Hmm.
If anyone did, if you guys did want to send that, I actually have a few contacts.
That'd be nice. Yeah, it is something a really interesting thing, just in a matter of how are we gonna go about this, really.
Because what I would think is
it would depend on if people would want it.
if
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
also
hardest
yeah, that would be the biggest thing if people would want it. But what I would think
Yeah.
is what we could do is if we do merch, what we would end up using the profits for. I mean, we'd obviously use some money to pay back the vendors and everything. That's a given. We don't want to go out of
Yeah.
pocket in this, but the
Yeah.
profits, what I was thinking is we put it in as a prize pool. So the more merch that's sold, the bigger the prize pool.
That's a good idea.
I mean, what you could do, and let's just say this is like a temporary, like sort of merch thing, is what if at the end of a season, the team that won gets a jersey made of their team with but it's like OLOC, like themed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Like
like
their team logo on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, like. Yeah.
team logo, team colors.
I like
Yeah,
it. It's
actually, that
definitely
would be
worth
a cool
bringing up.
prize for the winning team.
Yeah, that'd definitely be worth bringing up later in board chat.
It's definitely would come down to if the community wants it, because it would be
Yeah,
pretty
we can like
expensive.
we can like put a poll up or something if we can actually do it. Want
Yeah.
to?
I don't know if he would do it this season or it'd probably honestly be in the future, but
Yeah, that's fine.
it's something to consider.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, something that we had brought up yesterday, Pog,
Yeah,
after
what was that?
the game had ended, that poll about the community's favorite caster.
Oh, right.
Oh god.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Oh, that honestly, I think it'd be fun.
It would be like there's no harm in it.
And
It'd
then
be a
it's
fun
like,
little thing to
who's
do.
your favorite commentator? And then freaking A Rocky and me, because I know there's people that don't like me. I know there are.
I actually got a little bit concerned with that question yesterday, because you said that you were going to discuss it today, right? You said you were going to discuss who you'd think would be like the likely candidates and stuff like that. And there I am, I'm sitting there like, they haven't used me cast yet.
I feel like you'd be a good caster. I feel like you really would be.
I'm saying if we were to do this poll, it'd be at the end of the season.
Yeah, that'd be a good time to do it.
Because then you would hear everybody cast and actually have a favorite caster.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know how well I'm going to do today. Now, I am from the Rainbow Six Siege community. I've cast
Ooh,
on
nice.
there quite a lot of times, so I'm used to the high activity, and I'm used to being able to fill in gaps when there's nothing going on. So I'm
That's good.
I'm quite good at that sort of stuff. But
I need to
when
learn
it comes to
better.
Overwatch, there's obviously a lot more to know. So I'm a little bit scared on the fact of when it comes to like trading and stuff like that, that I'm just gonna get like mixed up now and then. But I will prevail and I will fight through it. And
That's fun.
I'm gonna try my best to cast. I think I could do it relatively well.
Something
Yeah,
though I
yeah,
have
you
to,
can.
I really think something though I really think this league for, because this league has got me in casting. It's made me learn more about this game.
Yeah. See that's different from like you and I, right? Like the reason why I think I'm a good caster is because I'm good at like coaching people on the game and all that sort of stuff. So I have that general knowledge, right? So it's that sort of stuff. But when it comes to someone like you, you pick up that knowledge now, by casting. You sort of had to look into that knowledge. So it's almost like we're working differently. Like, I already know the knowledge, and that's why I can cast, but you, to cast, you've learned the knowledge of the game and how the game flows a lot more compared to how most people would just normally see it from the outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because, like, I would play it, so I already had a good understanding of what's going on, but, like, casting and watching the teams go at it, I'm like, oh, that's why that play was big! Like, it can be pretty hard to cast Overwatch, because you gotta look at so many things all at once.
That's very true.
And now I feel like they made it harder with like the kill feed, because usually when I did like an old cast like ages ago, so I have done a little bit of Overwatch casting, but this was before, I think it was like season 6, so it was like a long time ago. So like the kill feed was very basic, but now when you look in that kill feed, you're seeing reses, you're seeing immortalities going, you're seeing Arisa bongos going, and you're just like, whoa! Before you just look in the top right and just go, okay, so and so has killed so and so, and so has killed so and so. But now you've actually got to like think about things. You've got to actually like pull things in and be like, you know what I mean? Like understand that the Arisa is just used Fortify, and now the Reinhardt's coming in to try and counter it, but it's not useful because you just place down a bongo, but Reinhardt's going to destroy the bongo, and then the Arisa advances, and there's just so much integrated play just keeps happening. It's a lot of back and forth when it comes to Overwatch. I sort of like realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and on top of that, you also got to be like, if you're like the analytic commentator, you got to be like pointing out where the positioning is going wrong or going right, and you've got to be like literally watching very carefully to see why a play failed or succeeded.
That's why I'm so glad I'm not that type of caster. I am more someone who sits there and I look at the screen and I go, this has happened, then this is going to happen, this is going to happen. I love doing stuff like that because at the end of the day, you don't need to think about it. You just say what's going on.
You know, yeah, I feel like you and me would actually be a really good commentating duo, I feel like. Because you could do all the play-by-play crap. Meanwhile, I'm just quiet, watching.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I talk, if you can already tell, I talk very, very fast and very, very, like, how do I put it? Like, I'm very, very vivid in my words, you know what I mean? I don't know exactly how to explain it, but, like, I speak, it's like my voice can, like, you sort of, like, listen, you know what I mean? I have, like, that sort of, like, I don't know, it's, like, clear. My voice is, like, very clear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the thing that's going for me is I'm loud. So a big play happens, and I just start shouting, and it sounds like I'm excited.
Oh my god, what the hell's going on?
Genji, what's the quad?
Huge Dragon Blade!
See, yeah, you would be sat there like, that's a huge Dragon Blade, and see, I would be sat there like, that's Genji popping the blade, he'll get the one kill, and then on to the second, that would be Mercy and Ana drop it, like, that would be me, but you'd just be there like,
huge!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! So, okay, I'm gonna say this person's name, because a lot of people know him. It's Gubbins. A lot of people know him. I'm still really close friends with him. And me and him were playing one day. And we were playing tank together. He was playing Sigma. I was playing Reinhardt. And we created this really stupid composition, which we've named Off-Tank Rein.
Off-Tank? What?
So, Sigma is the main tank in this. Reinhardt's literally just charging in.
Oh, okay. So you're okay. See, that is actually a meta. That's actually a thing that a lot of people do now. So they just pump everything into the Reinhardt so he can just charge and one hit everyone.
But literally, I would charge in, and Gubbins would know I'm charging in because I would scream space. And that was just like a joke from when I first met him, that Gubbins makes space. So I was just so I would just rush in to make space and just scream it.
I love that
And the
so much.
funniest thing is, every time I would scream it, I would get a pin kill.
Oh my.
Oh, God.
Every single time.
It works
He's
and I
too
hate it
powerful
so
to
much.
get alive.
That takes away everything I know as Ryan. I just know not to charge it, but you do it anyway.
The funniest thing is, after I started doing that, I started coming up with like stupid ways to start screaming space.
Can you give us an example?
I'm trying to think of one of them.
He's
I'm trying
on the
to
spot now.
If you can at least breathe first.
I'm trying to think of one of the best ones. These are literally come off the top of my head too. It's like, hey guys, we're on Horizon. That means we're in outer space.
Oh, my
I
God.
love that.
That's literally how it would go to. Is I would just start randomly saying something, and then the sentence would end with me screaming space. And suddenly the enemy mercy is dead, and I'm in the back line swinging my hammer.
You know what you remind me of? You remind me of that little portal robot that always screams
That's literally what we
space.
said. That's literally where it went to too. And we ended up putting up a video of a compilation of him just going space, space.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Something that's fun.
I know that's not how you play Reinhardt, but it was so much
It
fun.
isn't, but it works.
You
I
would
hate
trigger,
it.
like, you would trigger the hell out of my support players. Even on mine, right? If I am on 300 HP and I press that charge button, it's immediately, like, they immediately go, why are you throwing?
It's like, you're just reminding me of a Ryan I used to play with all the time called MD Who's Your Mama. I swear that guy did not know what a shield was. He just charged all the
Oh, my
time.
God.
So he invented the off-tank Ryan.
That's my first experience with one, and it worked really well. He
Like,
got like the mid-masters GM with it.
It pisses off every support and every tank player, but it works.
Yeah,
does.
all you remember is that support's job becomes incredibly stressful now because they're worrying when are you on like 200 HP are just gonna fly into the back line.
Suddenly my health depletes from 500 to 2. And then the freaking both supports are like, why are you so low? Dude, get back, and I'm just screaming, must kill, must kill!
I can just imagine you just charging in with like extreme death metal in the background.
Just an off-tank Rhine montage.
Literally, not just
We need
any
that.
death metal though would be playing in the background. It'd be death
Not
metal
just-
Batman.
You had to go there. You had to go there. Fucking death clock. God.
Okay, now I literally need to like make a recording of me playing Off Tank Ryan and then post that on the OLOC channel of just a compilation and show everybody that it works.
Post an announcements. It's clearly announcement worthy. At everyone with
At everybody. Watch this crap. And then I get all the Reinhardt mains in the league like, dude, that is not how you play Reinhardt. I just come back, yes it is.
No, instead of that, everyone just converts, and you've just invented a new meta.
the feral meta. I like it.
the feral meta. Jesus Christ! I think of that, and now I just picture Reinhardt foaming at the mouth, charging in.
Imagine if Rhine's charge had no cooldown.
Oh no.
But
That would turn Feral into a psycho, I can guarantee it.
He would just pin the
Must
same
charge,
person
must
over and over
charge.
again into the floor.
and then like I would do that, I'd scream it, and then I'd end up going up the edge, and then I'd scream immediately after, I'm taking them with me. That literally happened a few times. That happened a few times on Junkertown, which was the stupidest thing. I was defending, and I was playing like I was on offense, and it would work because I knew I had the Sigma in the back. And like, listen, if I were to actually do this in like a game for the league, I would straight up tell the supports, don't bother healing me.
No, just don't even say that. Just tell them I'm sorry and just charge.
Yes. No, you know what? I don't even say I'm sorry. I just go, sorry, space!
Sorry, space!
No, just straight up, just so they know every single time, just all they hear is just the mute of your mic.
I just go quiet.
Yes, like, sorry.
I go quiet for a good 5 minutes, and then suddenly the only thing they hear me is scream space.
Like,
Suddenly-
Ryan, is everything okay?
Suddenly, they see me charging from behind them. I pin the Mercy and then pop a 4-man shatter. And then everybody on my team's like, I guess we're pushing.
Yep, guess we're going.
This is it, lads. Let's go.
Tell me, admit it, we've all had those moments where you're like, I guess we're pushing. Suddenly you come out with the win.
Yep.
My team have an interesting thing about that. Like, usually, I don't know what it is. If I'm the one who dies first, they will always clutch up.
I swear it happens to me all the time.
I die, and then magically they're all just like, alright, we'll actually do good now.
For some reason it happens to me when I'm playing Zen, too. Because I'm like, I swear my team is like, okay, our Zen's dead, let's clutch.
They're clearly holding back their potential.
And I love it even more when the enemy team is targeting me, thinking that I'm the one that's carrying my team. They kill me, and then suddenly my team is just only seen in the kill feed. It's like, ah, you thought I was the carry. Joke's on you, it was the Genji. It's happened too often.
I'm just thinking of that one JoJo meme. You thought I was the carry, but it was me, Genji.
It was I, Genji. Oh no! I thought of a perfect JoJo meme. Freaking Orisa is. Oh, you're going to charge me! Freaking Reinhardt nano boosted. How else am I going to kill you?
I just want to say that every day in Warframe Region chat, this one dude named Brooklyn always talks about beating up a punching bag. Every day. It's just him talking about brutally, aggressively beating a punching bag.
Next thing you know, you're gonna get a picture sent to you of the punching bag just in pieces. And he just goes, I did it.
He punched it so hard that even the punching bag is bleeding.
Listen, if I saw a punching bag bleeding, I would be a little concerned. I'd be like, what was in that bag?
The dark secrets of Brooklyn. What was in the bag?
What was in that bag? Don't worry about it. If I tell you, I'll have to kill you.
He just posted another message. Violently elbows punching bag. Brutally gruesome.
No, he takes a. Oh my god, he takes a video of him brutally beating up this punching bag, and then it ends with him like with an AK just shooting the ever loving crap out of it. It's dead now.
Oh, there's another one. Hatefully aggressive stomps apart punching bag, even more pissed off.
Beat killing my punching bag part 2. This time it's personal. No.
I haven't gone a day without seeing this dude type about his punching bag. It's
The poor man. He must
the
have a
poor
lot
punching
of anger.
bag.
I feel sorry for that punching bag. I feel like there should be a meme of this now.
Hashtag punching bag lives matter.
Hashtag bag lives matter. So you get like, it's okay for bags to date bags. What?
Wait a minute. It's okay for people to date bags.
Bag love matters. Oh no!
I
mean,
slightly want to put that in announcements.
Bag lives matter. Everyone would be so confused.
Treat your bags with respect.
Treat your bags.
Lives matter.
Oh my god, we need to find like what day, because there's a day for everything. So we need to figure out what day of the year International Treat Your Bag Right Day is.
What day is tomorrow? Tomorrow's the 27th, Monday.
That's what
What do you
tomorrow's
think?
gonna be. Remember, everybody, treat your bags right. At everyone. And then you just put at the end, if you don't react to this, I know you don't treat your bag right and you will be kicked. What?
You will be kicked by Brooklyn himself.
just removed from the server. Reason being, didn't treat your bag right.
Abuse to punching bag. Don't make that a felony next year. Abusing
Oh, no.
punching bags.
Oh no.
Sir, stop punching the punching bag.
Okay, listen. I would have so much, like, I would kind of like Trump just a little bit if he actually made that a law.
I just want to say it. We're the most weirdest people ever. We go from doing a podcast about the league to on about being a punching bag and about becoming a felony.
Yeah, so, what's your point?
Did you not see last week's podcast? This is literally what happened.
Yeah, I just remember last week's podcast getting very deep suddenly.
At the end, it got very deep, and that's because Yiggs left us, WP left us, and it was just me and Chaotic left to our own devices.
Unfortunately, I was just babysitting that day, so I was just watching the stream.
Please tell me you were babysitting like a 2-year-old, and they're like, "What is harassment?" It is when you eat too much ice cream. I want to have harassment. No.
Oh no.
Oh, that's right. I made a freaking grown-ups reference. Everybody, hate me. Do it.
Joke's on you. I don't remember what I was gonna say.
So after this, I'm probably gonna get chocolate wasted.
What?
Please, if you've seen Grown Ups, you know what that is. You have to watch the movie. It is so funny. It's old, but it is so funny.
I have not watched it, unfortunately.
They made a sequel. The sequel isn't as good. Grown Ups, basically to sum up Grown Ups in a nutshell, it's a group of friends that have all grown up and have gone their own ways, but come together for like a summer with all of their families in this big cabin, and chaos ensues.
Sounds amazing.
The movie is basically just their summer. and it is so funny.
Nice. Speaking of movies, have y'all watched the Joker movie recently?
I have it on DVD now.
You should watch it. I watched it like
Oh
a
no,
day or so
I
ago.
watched it in theaters. I bought it
Oh,
as
nice.
soon as I heard it came out.
Nice. What did you think of it?
I loved it. It is now my
Me too.
second most, like, it is my second best Joker interpretation to me.
Yeah, I love it. Like Joaquin Phoenix, however you pronounce his name, did a very good job on the acting.
Yeah. If you want to know what my all-time favorite Joker version is, and will always will be, Mark Hamill's. It is awesome.
This
I
is
mean,
like
he's
the
like
first.
the pinnacle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whenever you think that, like, Joker, you just
Oh, there
think
it is.
him.
He voiced Joker in the animated series and in the Arkham games.
Oh, nice. That's like the first Joker movie I've watched, so I can't really say much about the others. I need to watch the others though.
The original Joker. I can't remember his name right now. He was really good.
Yeah,
I
that's
like the
what
one
it
in
is as well.
is it the Dark Knight? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, The Dark Knight. It was Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah.
He was quite good.
Yeah. Okay, listen. Everyone can agree that every Joker, except for Jared Leto's, was good.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Unfortunate. And I have Suicide Squad on DVD. I actually am the minority. I enjoyed the movie. Hated the Joker, but enjoyed the movie.
I hated
haven't
it so much
watched
I
it,
haven't
and I
even
don't want
watched
to.
it.
Same here.
It doesn't exist in my head.
Suicide what?
Like I said, I'm part of the minority.
Suicide
Okay, when it comes to movies, I'm pretty easy to please.
Yeah, same.
I got it.
I mean, this man likes grown up, so it'll probably.
Shut up. But I got the Suicide Squad movie because I love the Batman universe. It's not my favorite movie. I will admit that. I enjoyed it, but I understand what's wrong with it. I do say it is not the best movie that's ever come out by any means. It is one of the worst. But I love the Batman universe. So if a Batman movie comes out, you know I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, that's fair. Probably my favorite movie. This kind of bit off topic, kind of from the superhero movies. My favorite movie would have to be like Johnny Got His Gun. It's like a 1970s, 1980s movie. But have you ever heard the story behind it, or at least heard of it a bit?
God. I try even say my favorite movie because I guarantee I'm gonna get some weird looks.
That's fair.
What is it? What is it?
My best caster is already gone now from me. All this credibility is gone.
Oh no.
Mate, any
The emoji
movie, right? And it's the emoji movie.
You can pick. You can have any movie be your favorite, and you pick what?
Castaway.
Okay.
A what?
With Tom Hanks. Anything with Tom Hanks in is the best movie in the world. I don't care what anyone says. That man is an actual universal legend.
Nice.
No, you see, my favorite movies, and it's not movie, it's movies, plural.
I see.
I'm a huge Star Wars fanboy.
Yes! I do
the
like
most
a bit of Star Wars myself, however, the last movie was complete shit.
Yeah.
The last
Pardon my
one,
French.
like the Rise of Skywalker or the Last Jedi.
Rise.
Okay, Rise, I didn't have a problem with it because what they did
Terrible.
was a comic line. It was actually a comic in the extended universe.
Yeah, but what you gotta remember, right? And this is the reason why I hate it, right? And I wasn't expecting it to be at the end like, oh my god, Anakin, Obi-Wan, all these come back and they have a master lightsaber. I wasn't expecting that, right? Like everyone else was. But like, so you're trying to make me believe, right, that Emperor Palpatine, the man who is literally known as one of the most deadly in our universe, even survives being thrown off his own fucking ship as it explodes, gets pinned by a middle-aged woman and a light glowy stick.
Okay, yeah, I can see where you're coming from this.
Yeah.
I understand.
Like, hello?
I understand.
You deserve a
Like,
better
what?
death than that, yeah.
Okay, the movie's been out long enough that we can do spoilers now, right?
Of course, if anyone hasn't watched it, then they don't like Star Wars, do they?
Okay, so there's a couple things that I don't like about The Rise of Skywalker. First thing, the stupid Force ability that Rey and Ren shared, where they can freaking teleport things. What the?
What?
What?
Oh yes, it's where they'd be able to pull stuff from different realms, wouldn't they?
Like, it's an ex machina! It is the ex machinas of ex machinas!
That should be like a sin, like, surely. That shouldn't
I
be
can't
allowed.
wait for Cinema 6 to do this movie!
My biggest issue when it comes to the movie was the fact that there was no risks. They would always take a risk,
Yeah.
but they'd always get back to. For instance,
Yes.
Chewbacca when he died, you were like, "Oh no, he's dead," and that would have been such a good moment because you would have been. So
It would have been
Rey
such a good moment.
Yeah, because Rey would have lost. Because if you really think about it, yeah, like that would have been an awesome plotline for Rey to like sort of like be on like the dark and the light side, because she would have been having to battle with the guilt of like killing Chewbacca and all this that and the other, right? But no, he was on another ship.
Yeah,
Oh wow,
like,
T-3PO. Oh no, he's gonna lose all his memories. Not gonna remember anyone. He's basically gonna be no one. Oh, don't worry. The thing he said that
R2
R2
has his
wouldn't
memory
do.
bank!
R2 had the fucking thing. R2 fucking remembered. Like, what the fuck?
But if those two characters actually, like, I mean, C-3PO didn't die, but he would have died in a sense. Like, I'm gonna say that he would have died.
Well, he wouldn't have known anything that happened.
Yeah, so I'm saying that C-3PO would have died in a sense. The C-3PO we know would have died. Like, it would have been a great way to end the Skywalker saga, because Chewbacca's been through it all. He was seen in the Clone Wars. He was seen in the prequel trilogy. He was seen throughout freaking the original trilogy and the Disney trilogy. C-3PO was seen in the entirety of the Star Wars universe, basically.
Yeah. He's seen everything.
Like, it would have been a great way to end the Skywalker saga. But no, they're fine. And then, the other thing that I absolutely do not like, and I think is a complete cop-out, Rey Skywalker.
Yeah, no, stop. And you know what else annoys me? Is, you know when she went back at the end and she buried the lightsabers?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did Luke and Leia come back? It should have been Luke and Anakin who should have been there.
I freaking hate how they keep calling Anakin's lightsaber Luke's.
I know! Well, I mean, technically, if I really, really wanted to get technical about every single little thing, technically, Luke's lightsaber, right?
Yes.
Like, the new one he made was
Yes.
technically Qui-Gon Jinn's.
Was it?
Yeah, because, look like this. On Tatooine, yeah? Where the fuck are you supposed to get a saber crystal from?
Well, okay, so I believe what happened is during the time of the First Order, there were only a few kyber crystals left remaining because the First Order destroyed the planet where they all were. So the only ones we knew about were the ones that were in Anakin's lightsaber, the one in Leia's lightsaber that we knew about now, and the
Which is
cracked kyber crystal that was in Kylo Ren's lightsaber.
Yeah.
So
Well, no, but like, you know, I'm not about like that. I'm not about, you know, when like in like between 4 and 5, how he got like a new lightsaber, because obviously he lost his one, like he lost Anakin's one, and then he crafted a new one, and that lightsaber crystal was green.
yes,
If you think about it, it probably would have been Qui-Gon's, because if you think about it, kyber crystals have to be unlocked through like Yoda and stuff like that, taking you up to the highest part of the mountains and then doing your training and letting the crystal call to you. he didn't do that because he didn't get trained in the ways of the Jedi, so he couldn't have done that.
Well,
So
he
so
could have
essentially-
via Force spirits.
Yeah, mate, I highly doubt it though. But if you really think about it, it was on Tatooine. Obi-Wan would have had Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber, right? And he had crafted a new one that was green, the same color as Qui-Gon Jinn's actual lightsaber.
So, okay, this is what I think is because Qui-Gon Jinn's saber hilt and Luke's are actually different. So I think it's possible that Luke used Qui-Gon's crystal,
Yeah,
but made his own hilt.
yeah.
But it still pisses me off because Luke had a green lightsaber. Anakin's is blue. The one seen throughout the Disney trilogy is Anakin's. It's like, it's
God.
Luke's lightsaber. No, it's not.
Very passionate about it, aren't you?
I find it very strange on how like Disney handled like the whole of Star Wars. I think they did a really bad job. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, yeah, no, I'm.
No, because the whole saga is supposed to be about Anakin, right? Literally, if you ask J.J. Abrams, literally the whole saga is about Anakin, right? It's not about Skywalker.
It's about the Skywalkers. It's about Anakin and the Skywalkers.
It's not. It's literally it was built up from Anakin. That's the whole point. The whole point is Anakin. It's the Anakin, whatever the hell it's called. But essentially, what doesn't make any sense to me is these last 3 movies have gone, who's Anakin?
All we know is Vader.
Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like they literally, there was nothing to do with Anakin. It makes no sense.
Although the funniest crap ever is Anakin's voice appears in Rey's little Jedi thing.
Well,
it's like, bring balance to the Force like I did. Bitch, you destroyed the Force!
No. Here's what everyone gets wrong. Most people say bring balance to the Force. You would think that he means basically you would make people think that the sides would have had no difference, right? It would have been balanced, right? Everything would have been fine. But actually technically did. What was balance meant was, because if you really think about it, there would have been 3 Siths and then 16 Jedis. So effectively what he did is brought it down to 2 Siths and 2 Jedis. Because Obi-Wan and Yoda, and then it would have been Darth Vader and
Sidious. But no, there were
2 Siths.
There were already 2 Siths because Anakin killed Dooku before Sidious brought Anakin in as Vader.
Yeah,
because
so what he had to do then was bring down... Yeah, exactly. So he brought down the numbers of the Jedi down to 2, which then meant balance was brought back. If he had killed Obi-Wan, in that duel he had, the balance, there would be no balance.
Would have been disrupted.
There would have been 1 Jedi. Exactly. So he did actually fulfill the prophecy of bringing balance to the Force.
Yeah, he technically did. And then, even if you don't look at it that way, I mean, it was Vader that threw Palpatine over the edge.
Yeah, and then what happened then is the world went. Well, I think the Force is like a natural balancing. You know what I mean? It's sort of like
it's the life energy. It literally is life energy.
Yeah, no, but it's like Mother's Nature's way of making sure that if so. Essentially, what was happening was, if you really look at it, the Jedi were winning. They were winning everything. The public were just destroying everything. Right? They were owning everything. The dark side were going into hiding because they couldn't fight because there wasn't enough of them. So essentially, what happened then was the natural balancing of the Force came in, which was Anakin. He fulfilled his prophecy of bringing balance. It became equal again. Then Darth Vader died, and then naturally the Force needed someone else to arise back up, which is why then they brought back Snoke, while Snoke was still back up, and then Kylo Ren. But then all of a sudden then, we figure out that, oh no, there is someone new, Sidious, right? So that means the balance is thrown off again. So it's the whole idea of just the balance just keep... Like, I think the Force is kind of like a balancing act. It kind of like
I think the
tries to
Force
balance
already
itself.
kind of knew that Sidious was alive, because Snoke we never actually saw him use Force abilities, and he was a clone.
Yeah, we did.
No!
We saw him use a Force ability. He what's it called? He took the life out of Rey.
Snoke did? Sidious
Yeah,
did!
it was Snoke. He put his arm out, remember? And then, like, she was, like, dying.
Oh, right. But we also have to remember Snoke was a clone?
Yeah, no, it was probably
Made
Emperor
by
that did
Sidious.
that, but...
So... I mean, you got a good point, and it's also... Because we know that Rey is a Grey Knight, so she's technically still balanced, because the Grey Knights are only care about balance. There's no light, there's no dark, there's just the Force and the balance.
Yeah. The thing that doesn't make any sense to me, though, is she constructed that new lightsaber at the end, right?
Yeah.
But if all the Sith were dead, what's she gonna need that lightsaber for?
I think it was... So, the significance of it, I think, is more to, like, go against her lineage. Because she has a yellow kyber crystal.
Right.
Which is the symbol of the Jedi Sentinels, which are the only Jedi that Sidious actually feared.
Right.
So,
Sidious feared his own daughter.
His granddaughter.
He's like, she's too dangerous to be kept alive.
She's too dangerous to be kept alive. Must convert her.
By the way, I think Finn and that new girl, whatever her name was, I don't even know what her name was, but I think that they're both Lando's kids.
Maybe.
Because Lando was known to travel around and see a lot of women.
Yeah.
So he could have.
Welcome to the Overwatch League of Champions.
Punching bags, now Star Wars. How?
Yiggsy, right? Yiggsy has never trusted us ever again on this podcast.
Okay, listen. The podcast was my idea in the first place, so she ain't taking this from me.
Oh god.
Yeah, no. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the new Star Wars movie. I do think it was definitely more for the fans than it was for anything else.
That's fair.
Definitely.
I haven't watched the new movies yet, and I don't really have much of an interest to.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll probably watch if it comes out on demand or
Netflix
for free.
Something that has given me hope, if there is going to be another Star Wars saga starting, The Mandalorian has given me so much hope that Disney can actually bring out something really good.
I don't even think The Mandalorian's good. I think it's just overhyped now with the old Baby Yoda stuff.
Yes, no, Baby Yoda is definitely very overhyped, but the story of The Mandalorian is actually, like, I really enjoy it because it actually is more about the lore and the story rather than trying to make some cash grab.
Well, I would disagree. I think they only added Baby Yoda so they could sell Baby Yoda toys, let's be real.
Yes! Yeah! I can see that, but, like, it's not, like, taking away from the story. Because it's giving the Mando actual character.
True.
Like, it's giving him a purpose. He has something to protect. Which isn't something we normally see from bounty hunters.
I think it'd be interesting to see, like, if he knew people like, you know, like I feel like what needs to happen is, like, more interaction of, like, the old, like, so, like, bounty hunters, like Boba, Jango, and all that sort of stuff.
Well, Jango's dead.
Yeah, but they could still, like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, why, like, because you really think about it, Django's one of, like, the most, like, he was a higher up bounty hunter, right?
He was very notorious, and then Boba ended up taking his place after his death.
Yes, so like I feel like he should almost be honored, and people should know him. You know what I mean? Like the bounty hunter should respect that sort of thing. But, like, there's no mention of any other bounty hunter, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's connected, but it's also disconnected.
Yeah, you don't even hear that much about Bosk, and Bosk was alive even during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or IG-88, or any of these.
Or a sing like all these top playing bounty hunters, like
Dengar.
Yeah, or even Greedo. I mean, Greedo did work with Jabba almost exclusively, but he was still very well renowned.
Yeah, especially in the Outer Rim district.
Yeah. I mean, Jabba did control the Outer Rim, so naturally, Greedo would be well renowned in the Outer Rim. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's possible you don't hear too much about him because bounty hunters is a very competitive profession. So when they fall out of it, you kind of stop talking about them because there's no real reason to.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally saw, especially after the Empire fell, how competitive a career of bounty hunting was, because the largest ones Mando could get before he took up the job for the Baby Yoda was literally only like a few hundred credits.
So, toss her an invite.
Oh, Yiggs?
Yeah, I suggested her.
Okay. But like, he really could only get like a few hundred credits. Yeah, Yiggs is gonna try and control us. Go ahead! You will try and you will fail.
Gotta throw in that Star Wars reference right there. Since we should keep talking about it.
She's gonna.
A lot of stuff to say
Okay,
about Star Wars,
I've got the perfect thing to say. Yeah, you don't watch Star Wars, so you don't care about what we're doing.
Hello.
Welcome to Star Wars Hour.
Oh, is that what we're doing? Star Wars Hour? Oh no, I grew up as a Star Trek fan, so all of my opinions are going to be blasphemy to those of you that.
Is that a sin I hear?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go in the kitchen so
I don't care about either.
Sig, we had to invite the only Trekkie.
Trekkie?
Yes! I am. It's Trekkie, not Trekker. Like, fuck that. Don't say.
It's a Trekkie.
It's Trekkie.
Jokes on y'all, I don't care about either Star Wars or Star Trek.
Do you care about Marvel, though?
What was it?
Marvel. The MCU.
Marvel? Not much.
Come on, dude. I'm waiting for the next Venom movie, dude.
Oh,
I'm not much. I wasn't really much of a
so good.
movie
Oh, it
personally.
was so good. And they set up Carnage so well.
I know, dude. I love that shit. I might watch that again soon. And like, what's his name? What's his name? Thompson. He's such a good actor for Venom.
Nice.
Have you seen the thing of Venom Baby Groot?
What?
So I found this weird like comic meme. It's Baby Groot that is being taken over by the Venom symbiote.
Oh God.
And Venom's just like, we are Venom, and then Groot just goes, I am Groot. And
Are you guys ready for another unpopular opinion?
I am Groot. Fine, we are Groot.
Errol's having a moment.
She's got another unpopular opinion.
The usual.
What is it,
an
Yiggs?
unpopular opinion. Okay. I watched like the 3 or 4 like first of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then I got really tired of it. I just thought it was like formulaic, and I was like, I don't know, it's just not my thing. I know I have to sit down and watch it eventually, but I was like, I got burned out on it, like after
like,
I think like Iron Man 3.
So
That's because that's early on. That's
yeah, you dropped out way too early on.
Yeah,
that's what
if
people
you
tell
if you
me, but
carry
I
on
have
watching,
the only thing I really did want to see was like the 2 Thor movies after
Thor
the
Thor
first
Ragnarok was
one.
really nice.
Ragnarok
like,
was great.
I was just
Yeah,
I have like no desire unless somebody like sits me down and makes me watch it.
All right, Yanks. What we're gonna do is we're gonna host an Overwatch League of Champions movie night.
Yes.
And I'm going to
every single event.
Yes.
we're gonna go through.
no.
No, not every Avengers. Every movie in the MCU. I own them all.
Okay, we can do it.
I would totally be up for that.
Every single Friday, it's MCU night.
Like, I have them all,
every movie
and I know
once a
the chronological order. So we are watching them.
The correct order. Yeah,
Yes.
I told you maybe that. I grew up though. I was a Batman fan, like DC fan, and their animated movies are like perfection. Their actual screen movies are horrid. Like I'm like, can y'all just do the animated movies?
Okay.
Like
I
act those out. But I grew up with like Vertigo, Sandman, Why the Last Man. I was into the more kind of, I don't necessarily like less superhero stuff, but it was more like deconstruction of that genre, and a lot more of the sort of like D&D and that kind of.
But counterpoint, the Dark Knight trilogy wasn't that bad.
The Dark Knight trilogy was pretty good. The one I didn't like was the last one, because I felt like it was the same movie like 1.5 times. I actually, because I had to take medication to go see it, I fell asleep for 30 minutes and I woke up and I don't feel like I missed anything.
Yeah. That's literally all it was with the Green Lantern movie. Listen, this is a true thing. I've tried watching the Green Lantern movie like 5 times. I fell asleep every single time.
It's bad.
Like,
literally, it was good, but
I have never actually finished. Like, I will get through like the first like segment of the movie, pass the hell out. I wake up and the end credits are playing. I have never really watched the Green Lantern movie.
DC is like way too serious in my opinion. Like,
yeah, they're okay. Superheroes, like the concept is dumb. It's cool, but it's dumb. You know what I mean? It's like it's men punching things in tights and flying around. Like,
you're talking to somebody that goes to Comic-Con.
Good balance between a serious, engaging plotline and the hilarity and inherent goofiness of superheroes. Like, I feel that DC was going in the correct direction with Aquaman. I watched that movie and it was like just big and stupid and dumb, and they just like embrace how fucking weird Aquaman is. And I felt like if they go more in that direction, it could it get
That's why
back.
Marvel is like better, because they know that they can't, like, they take things serious when it needs to be serious. They know that they can't always be serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So
they did a good job of that. I do feel like they're too formulaic. So good. Though. Like, I feel like I can. At this point, it's like a little bit of, well, maybe a lot of, but I have this feeling toward a lot of Disney movies that since like that weren't made in the 90s or early 2000s, where it's really corporate. Like, this is the problem I had with the 3 Star Wars trilogy, and like some of you have heard me talk about this and like my issues with it, but it was kind of the soulless corporate. Like, you have to be able to take risks in movies to make good art. And, like, you just can't do that with these corporate titans. You have to put the most butts in seats. It was kind of like, the last Star Wars movie. I was like, there's no risk here. None of these characters are going to die. They fake it out every time.
That's every time.
We were just talking about that like a few minutes ago.
That made the 3rd Star Wars movie, Episode 7, so good was because they felt like they could take risks. Things with, like, Luke being Darth Vader's son. Spoiler for a 30-year-old movie. But, like, that kind of stuff.
Luke is Vader's son?
Today. I know, crazy.
You just now realized?
Next thing you're going to tell me is Dumbledore dies.
Because it was just that. If you really think about it as well, it's especially like with the pre-trilogy with like Anakin and Obi-Wan, right? Even like when they fought, like, because you understand, like, if you watched from like the originals, you saw obviously that first duel between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, and you kind of like, you can tell that there's something, they know each other, but you don't really understand. And then you have like this massive battle, and then you realize the significance of that battle there, and how significant it was from that point, and like how emotional that was. Like, I can't imagine going to the cinema and just seeing like episode 3 for the first time. I would have loved doing that, because that to me would have been the best moment in my whole entire life.
Although, if you want to talk about great things to watch, that like a great superhero thing to watch that fully embraces how stupid superheroes can be and just the pure hilarity, the freaking Harley Quinn show on DC's streaming service is a beautiful thing, and I absolutely love it.
The animated team is so talented. DC animated movies have always been really good. I'm looking forward to, they're coming out with Red Sun, which is Superman, but if he landed in the USSR instead of America, and it's going to be really good, I think. I'm glad they're finally making like an adaptation of that comic, because it was a great comic.
Like, this Harley Quinn show, like, it is so good because they take the darkness of Batman, and this show is rated M. Like, they do not pull their punches. They are completely vulgar. Everything is, like, they make freaking sexual jokes, and there is so much blood and gore. So much!
Nice.
Like, it's so good. It is so freaking funny, too. Like, this show made it canon that Joker is a fan of Reese Witherspoon. Only Legally Blonde, though.
How did we go from
on like the
Overwatch
Star Wars thing? I will talk about that just for a moment. Here's what I didn't like about the last 3 trilogy. I'm gonna try and keep it short because I usually have a lot to say on this topic.
Yeah.
Again, maybe unpopular opinion, I liked the middle movie best. Here's why. The first one, I'm going to be honest, I don't super remember. Like, it was okay, but I was like, eh. No. The one thing I liked about the middle movie was that
The Last
for
Jedi?
all the other ones, The Last Jedi, at least this introduced some new concepts that was not just like a parallel or a straight new rehash. Let me explain. One second.
What are you saying?
Here's why. They introduced these concepts, the idea of like your background not meaning as much to you and things like that, and they introduced the idea of the Jedi being like, we're done. This era is done. We don't need Jedi. We don't really need Sith anymore. And I really like the idea that it was going in the direction of like everybody can have a little bit of Jedi powers. Maybe it's my socialist heart, but it was like what I wanted to happen was I wanted Rey and Kylo Ren just to decide, like, fuck the Empire, fuck the Jedi. Let's go and just make a whole new thing that's neither light nor dark, but is a balance of both, because they're both sides of the same coin.
There is a thing.
And, like, and sort of exploring that scenario that no longer is this knowledge kept for a select few, but now it's kind of spread out into the galaxy. I think that would have made an interesting ending, rather than bringing Palpatine back again. We already had an antagonist in the form of Social Order and the First Order trying to revive itself. We didn't need.
Well, I just want to say
what you're describing are the Grey Knights, which is an actual thing, and Rey is a Grey Knight. That is what the last movie established.
That's what we should have gone into, because I think what's wrong is that J.J. Abrams is a horrible director, and he's great at big action scenes and fighting. He absolutely cannot fucking write character dialogue or growth. The 8th movie, I felt like, so here's one thing I saw.
Nick is dying right now.
I'm sorry.
One of the things about it that I saw is that all of the character growth that occurred in 6 and 7 was just reset for 8. I feel like several characters had the same arc over and over, and I was like, at this point, I kind of just want you to fail, because clearly you're incapable of learning lessons.
I'm sorry.
And I wanted something different. I wanted them to go in a different direction, not this milquetoast thing, where like everybody was like, it was an okay movie. I've not heard anybody say that it was great or that it changed their feelings about the series or made them think deeply. Everybody was like, it was mediocre, which is all you can get with these type of corporate films. And like the way that this is made is that you want to get the maximum amount of seats and butts. I mean, butts and seats, other way, butts and seats.
Seats and
Seats
butts.
And you
Got
can't
it.
take risk for that. You cannot, you can't. They felt like they couldn't deviate from that formula, especially per American and Chinese audiences.
See, no offense, but I don't think your opinion is valid based on the fact that you just said that Episode 8 is a good movie.
This
I'm
man
sorry.
gatekeeping, film critiquing.
Rian Johnson is the biggest clown I have ever seen. Okay? That man is not a clown, he is the entire circus, right? Episode 8 was the most god-awful movie I have ever seen.
Wait, what?
Yes.
At least it did something different, though.
It was so bad to the point where they had to bring back Emperor in Episode 9. J.J. Abrams said himself he didn't want to bring Emperor back, but it was the only way to save the saga because
I don't
Rian
think that
Johnson
was necessarily
killed
true.
off Snoke.
The issue they did was they tried too hard to make something different.
Yeah,
The fact
I can
is
see
that
that, but I
all
think
we
that had
care
they kind of
about-
gone, if we had any sort of coherent storyline from the beginning, because what happened in 7 didn't matter in 8, and then what happened in 8 didn't matter in 9.
In Episode 8 changed it!
Oh my god, what a killing show.
Well,
What
then,
the hell?
if it was so good, why did they hire him and get rid of J.J. Abrams?
No, it's because they had a contract signed that 3 people were supposed to do each different movie. But what happened
That's
is the
stupid.
guy... No, but listen.
So much of this
So,
trilogy is just you can see the
Episode
corporate
7
hand hovering over
Yeah,
it, and it's
we're
like
not
you can
denying
only do
that.
this. That's my problem with it.
Oh, listen,
Welcome to the
Episode
OLOC
7...
podcast.
Right, listen. So the 3 movies were contracted for 3 different people. J.J. Abrams for first, Rian Johnson for second. I can't remember who did Episode 9, right? So Episode 7 comes out. Okay, nobody really liked it, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world, right? It was a reboot of a saga that's been
It was a
out for
reboot of
many
4.
years. So Episode 8 comes out, right? That's Rian Johnson's one. Everyone goes, what the hell is this piece of trash? And then guess what happens then? Episode 9 was supposed to be done by this guy. Guess what? He was halfway through storyboarding, and you know what he said? He went, this is not gonna happen. Rian Johnson has screwed this. I'm jumping ship. He didn't want to do it because of what Rian Johnson did. The man lost out on a paycheck of probably over $1 million because of Rian Johnson. So they had to go, oh no, we've just lost someone. We have to call up emergencies. So they start calling up everyone. They asked Rian Johnson, can you do this next movie? Rian Johnson goes, yeah, I think I have to take a break. I think I went a little bit too hard in this last saga. Essentially, everyone's hating on me. I can't do another movie because otherwise I'll kill the Star Wars saga. I'll just wait until I get my own trilogy. So then they go, oh God, we've lost Rian. Go back to J.J. Abrams. And then, thank God, J.J. Abrams picked up the scene. But of course, the problem with J.J. Abrams is, as Yiggsy said, he doesn't like to take risks. And when he does take a risk, he instantly regrets it and goes, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. I'm surprised, right, that Han Solo didn't survive.
I know. I
I was not surprised by that. I was thinking that each of those characters was basically either... I mean, the problem is those actors and those characters would have carried the film. I think. Personally, I don't think either of the directors were good enough to be able... They're not good enough character writers to be able to have those big bombastic characters not steal the show. I think the directors were just ass, and I think Disney is ass, kind of.
The fact matter is, why would you, So you see this, I'm going to go back to Episode 8 now. You see some random woman land on your island in a ship of your best friends with multiple characters of your best friends, Mm-hmm. You see her come in, and you're like, wow, how the hell did she find me? I've been deserted on this island. I deleted all the maps. How the hell's anyone found me? Wow, okay, this is a little bit strange. Is she here to kill me? Or what is she doing? No reaction from him. He sits there. She approaches him. She gives him the lightsaber. Now, this is your father's ancient weapon. He used this. You lost this, and you literally regretted losing this because you loved this. You know, this was your father. This was the only thing to remember your actual father, right? The person who you believed was your actual father, Anakin Skywalker. And what does he do? He ate! What? Why would he throw it off the edge? This makes no sense.
Yeah, no, like, Yigs, there was a story before 8. 8 just kind of threw all that away.
I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know. I thought 7. I don't even remember it that much. I didn't think it was that great. This is how I feel about the entire trilogy. Had this not had the Star Wars name, no one would have cared.
Shit.
It would have been bad.
It would have done shit.
If this had been a new property, people would be like, "Wow, that was awful and boring," and no one cares.
So it would basically be Star Trek.
I wish I could high-five you right now.
All I could just sense in Yiggsy's requested your location.
I mean, these are my opinions. I frequently have can have very critical viewpoints about movies, especially those I feel like don't really rise. I don't want to be like super pretentious and be like arise to the level of art. But
see, you're different because you're all about like build up characters and stuff like that. Now
yeah.
I like that, but I also love like battles that have a significance, and that's what should have happened. The ending
but
battle
I feel like
of Episode 9
that didn't really happen either.
Like, how does a man, and I've already talked about this, how does a man, the greatest Sith of all time, the man who literally has killed planets, have killed millions of people, get beaten by a woman and a stick of light? How? The man survived.
The man survived literally the vacuum of fucking space!
Yeah, and he literally, his ship got blown up with him inside of it, and the man literally dies by a woman. Literally, he dies by himself, technically, because he got beat. Mace Windu, essentially, came back from the dead. He basically channeled Rey and was like, hey, Rey, guess what? I almost killed him back in Episode 3 by deflecting the lightning. And
he loses to a middle-aged woman who has no training in the Jedi Order.
Oh.
And he loses to her with a freaking sword that doubles as a glow stick.
Should I hear as well? It's the fact that Leia had a lightsaber, then they cut to her like training. Leia literally said that she never wanted to become anyone like that. She doesn't agree with like using the Force as in like a bad way or anything like that. She literally said that she would never train in the arts of a Jedi. And what do you know? She's got her own lightsaber and she's trained. Like, what the? The movie just doesn't make any sense. It takes everything that Lucas made and just goes, oh yeah, Lucas, guess what? That trilogy you had, yeah? That was a nice trilogy, mate, but it doesn't exist. Disney killed Star Wars. Actually, they didn't kill Star Wars. They brutally murdered it.
It's because Disney is a soulless corporate entity.
You mean it's a soulless corporate monopoly?
Yes, it is, and part of the other big issue, and this is in movies in general. I am not finding blockbuster movies to be satisfying at all because so many of them pander to the Chinese audience who is still big into the CGI. And like I said, as you guys know, I'm somebody who is enjoying complex character development, complex discussions, humor, drama is probably my favorite genre of movies to watch. My favorite movie is Cloud Atlas and Contact, if that tells you anything.
So then, Yigs, how do you feel about the Hazbin Hotel pilot?
I liked it. I thought it was cute, and I'd absolutely watch more of it.
So would I. I loved it.
I loved it.
Alistair,
nice.
Best character.
Yes, my favorite. He's asexual like me, they said. And I was like, that's cool.
Nice.
Finally, a demon that's not all about sex, love. I think it's really cute, and I can't wait to see more.
Okay, you know what? The reason I love Alistair so much is he is so creepy. I love characters that are so, like, just their very presence.
I'm a big fan
chills.
of villains. Like, when I play D&D and stuff, that's why I DM. I like to story, but I really like to play good villains. I love creepy characters. I love villains. Like, for a little while when I was in middle school, I was like one of those edgy, like not like the other girl kids who always supported the villains in anime. But I was like a proto-weeb because the term weeb didn't exist back then. So yeah, I feel that.
Like, and I saw a comment on Hazbin Hotel, and I'm like, I watched it back and I was like, holy crap, it's true. Alistair is the only character that doesn't swear. And it makes him seem that much more terrifying.
I think that was very interesting because he's the radio demon. You couldn't swear on radio. The way that they do his voice, like the old radio, is really good. I think that that's fascinating because that's kind of a cultural aspect I enjoy. As somebody with a prodigious vocabulary who is rather articulate, I no fear of public speaking and everything like that. But I choose to say the word fuck like constantly because I just love it.
Okay. I like how you were talking about that, and you're like, I've got a very prodigious vocabulary. What the
Well, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I have had this issue where I will talk to people and they will actually not understand the sentence I said, but they will agree. And then later on, it comes up where I was like, well, we talked about this and agreed to it. I was like, I didn't understand a word of that. And I
didn't understand a word you said. Basically, freaking Finding Nemo. It's trying to speak to me. I know it.
Exactly.
Alright. Well, I do think, though, we have to end it because the game is at 7. It is 6:40 now. So the game's in 20 minutes. I kind of got to get the lobby set up. I like to do it at least 15 minutes before the match.
So,
pretty good.
Quick summary: we went from like Overwatch machine gun zen to punching bags to whatever fucking Star Wars bullshit.
Arguing about Star Wars with a Trekkie.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I wanted to say a quick couple of things just as, OLOC God Empress of a couple of things. Next week on, we're going to have the console contenders, a couple of admins from there to discuss that. I know some teams have been looking for scrims outside of OLOC, so maybe we're trying to set up some cross-league scrims in there. Captains, please make sure that your rosters are correct and that your players are claimed in trade chat and everything like that. We had our first draw of the season due to clerical errors. If you have an issue with a player and you're putting them on the team 24 hours before the game or something like that, or they are not, in this case, we had a player that was not actually picked up by the team that they tried to put in substitute, but none of the admins were aware of this, and we had a discussion about it. Like, we're pretty lenient as admins, but you have to communicate with us. The only reason that was not a full forfeit for all 4 maps, normally it's a forfeit if a player is not supposed to be there and is playing, just to make it fair, is that this first week I said I'd be pretty lenient. Also we've had 2 weeks for scheduling games, and we've got several teams that haven't done that. I've tried to speak with them, but if you tried, the person who ended up not responding
is the one that's going to forfeit.
Will be the one that's forfeited, right? We've got a new MVP channel by popular demand. I'm trying to think what else.
Not really much big.
I'm not really sure.
Week 2 starts tomorrow, so stuff for that should be posted tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. And so last week of the first.
Today's the last day of the first week.
Yeah, I'm trying to say first of the season, first games are over today. And so,
And I believe one of the commentators for the game that is literally about to happen, he can't make it, so Sig, it's going to be you and me.
Wait, the perfect duo.
I know.
Balanced as all things should be.
Balanced as all things should be. So, I think that's it, right?
Pretty much, I guess.
I think that's
else?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say? Any other bashes on Star Wars you want to make, Yiggs?
I'm not really bashing it. I liked it. I saw it multiple times. I did go see it in theaters. My favorite was the droid in the last movie, the little Pixar lamp droid. I love him.
Okay, everybody loves him.
That's gonna get on my nerves now I don't know his name.
I wish they had gone more into like the cool horse people. I was like, that's who I want to follow. I want to know about their culture, and then the smuggling culture was cool.
Exactly. I've had enough of it.
And I could tell that J.J. Abrams like lifted a bunch of stuff just straight out of the Dune series, which I thought was interesting, especially since we have a Dune movie coming up in 2020. So I'm interested if people are gonna be like, hey, that was stolen from Star Wars. You're not interesting. Whereas Dune was written like 1,000,000 years ago.
Yeah, I still need to read it as well. I have the book, but I just need to get around to it.
The first book is really good. I'm gonna put it like this. Every book is about half as good as the one before it. The author is like, the first book is really interesting because you're introduced to, like, you have all these terms thrown at you and you're like, I don't know what this means, but by the end you foster understanding through the story. And then the rest, the author seems to think that he's really just incredibly intelligent at being philosophical, and he's like saying all this stuff, and it's really like, you know how we all saw The Matrix when we were like 15 and thought it was really profound, and then if you go back and watch it, you're like, oh wow, this is really not that. This is like this is actually kind of basic ideas about morality. This is not really profound. It's very much like that. And so it can get a little boring in places where you're just like, okay, you've made your point. You do not have to keep harping on this. Like, we're smart enough to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, thank you all for joining us. And I hope to see you guys again next week for the podcast again.
Yep.
Right.
And I hope to see all of you lovely viewers in about 15 minutes.
Big mood.
With that, thanks for joining us.